All right, guys, welcome. Turn the volume up on this thing a wee bit. Okay, I'm going to continue from last week's meditation. I do like to keep these practices or these guided meditations in line with the times, so to speak. And from all the people I work with every day, from people in my social circumstances, and definitely me personally, this is a time of working through truth, of understanding what is at our core, what is at our center, being able to move into that position best we can and maintain it even if it's uncomfortable. Generally speaking, this is something that we're working with. So for today, I want to focus on your core, lower dantian, your guts. Just move down into this area. We're going to go through the whole process, even if it's your first day or if you've been here for a while. We'll address each accordingly. Okay? Here we go. So before we get too specific, let's take these first few minutes just to settle. To move out of the intellectual tone, which is for most of us our go-to, and sink deep into the body. Move into our intuitive body, move into visceral communication. Just begin to feel. If this is your first time with this kind of work, it's a rewrite, but begin to trust, begin to feel, give that all of your effort, all of your attention. As I mentioned before, no analyzing, no judgment, no preference, just get in there and feel. Just take note of where you're physically at today. No ego, no justifications. What's the tissue saying? What's your body feeling? Get familiar with that, whatever that means for you. In this process, we can't essentially change these perceptions just yet, or manipulate, so to speak. So whatever you're feeling, do your best to accept, give in, take note, there has to be an allowance, there has to be an ability to give in to these types of circumstances, the fight, the struggle, the resistance. This is for most of us normalcy, and it has its repercussions, obviously. So we're going to move in a different direction today. During this time, we have a nice, comfortable posture where everything is open in the back, in the hips, in the sacrum, in the chest. We're establishing posture that makes the blood in our body, that gives the blood in our body easy access to circulate, to communicate through the entire body. You're going to feel it. You can wiggle from left to right, front to back, and where you feel the tension, where you feel tight, do your best to breathe, do your best to wiggle. Some days you can get in there and soften, some days you can't. But like I mentioned a few seconds ago, take note and accept. As most of you may know, using the breath as a way to maintain position in the body is great. If that works for you, so be it. Go for that. The heart is also a useful organ in terms of grounding or establishing base. Any organ, to be honest, works just fine. But for the breath, for example, just breathe, just feel, and just watch. Your mind is going to be thinking. The distraction outside is real. But be focused, be intent upon sensing, physically so, what your body is saying, what your body is doing, what your body is feeling. Be very interested. The more sensitive, the better. Keep in mind during this time, we're not trying anything too hard. We're not trying to relax. We're not trying to clear our thoughts. We're moving into the tissue, moving into the body, and just feeling. If you're shaking in your boots, if you're anxious or you're upset, that's where you're at. And that is okay. Do your best to feel that, to give that validity. Allow it to rock through your blood. Allow it to teach you, allow it to show you, allow it to move out of the body eventually. But if we ignore it, if we deny it, if we try to force our way within it, it definitely just gets worse. More toxic, more powerful. So some days you might be sitting here working this same vague instruction, and you're going to feel like hell. You're going to feel upset. You're going to feel cranky. That's okay. Sit with that. We can't always be happy. It's not the point. Okay. Moving right along. Once you feel settled, and this may take a while for beginners. The more you do it, the easier, the quicker it becomes. But once you feel that sense of settled, you're in your sit bones, you're very aware emotionally, physically, what's going on. Neutral with it, so to speak. Begin dropping your awareness down a bit further. We're going to keep this generalized, but more or less diaphragm to pelvic floor, the entire abdominal core. You can think in terms of core, you can think in terms of energetics, your constitution. If you're a fan of chakras, go that way, that's fine. Diaphragm to pelvic floor, this portion of your body. Begin perceiving your moment, your world, from there. Not from your brain looking down, but from that position looking out. You can think of removing the head, moving it down the torso, and sinking it, placing it down here in the core, and living from that position. If this is your first time Or if you're new to this kind of practice, I would recommend just take note. Be highly observant. It's like moving to a new town. We don't know anybody. Or starting a new job. Before you go in there looking to wreck shop, looking to have your way, do your best just to get familiar. Get acquainted, so to speak. For those of you that have worked with this lower dantian before, we're looking to establish home base, a new home base, a more authentic, real home base. And during these past few weeks, during this time of transition, this time of challenge, the idea is to understand where home really is, where you really are. All the external features, all the stressors, all the flavors, all the excitement, all the devastation. Within context, within perspective of this position, these external concerns perhaps are just distractions. They're real, but not as important. Cutting through all of the stimulation, all of the noise, relocating position to this abdominal core, working from that position out, from a place of trust, from a place of reassurance, from a place of power. This is the idea, this is the training. But initially, this may be uncomfortable. You may have an inability to move in this location. It may be quite the challenge to stay here and stay put. But this is the task, this is the challenge. Fear, question marks, emotional history, ironically so, this has to be embraced. Not looking to stuff it, to push it, to slip by it, but moving right to the center of it. Getting comfortable within discomfort. Much easier to distract, to avoid. But deep down, we all know what is required, what is our task. And here tonight we can look at that, we can feel that, we can sit with that, embrace it, and learn from it. Now, all this being said, be easy on yourself. Just get in there. Just take note. We're not looking to clear it, to sort it, to check mark it. We're just looking to move in and stay, maintain, building comfort. And over time, building strength. The real you, authenticity, all that from this position, looking out. Once you're in, stay. Using this portion of your body as your teacher. Don't go in there with directives. Don't go in there trying to get what you need. Do the opposite. Go in there humble, with a pad and a pen, and take as many notes as you can. And don't worry at this point if you can't make sense of what that means right now. When you have enough information over the next couple months or couple years, wherever it is you're at, it'll eventually make sense. But this is a new arena, one where intellect is not going to help you. Reinforce your intent as often as you need. The very vague, very simple intent of being in this portion of your body. What that feels like, what that looks like, is always going to be different. And that's what makes it interesting, exciting, never boring. Deeper and deeper into the tissue, beyond the fear, under the history, focused, but very soft. As an isolated practice here in this room or there in your home, we get this stronger. When you're in the streets, when you're driving your car, when you're waiting in line, and you got nothing to do, don't grab your phone. Move here. Ride your bike from here. Have a conversation from here. And over time, you can take this technique and bring it into every aspect of your day. It's a game changer. All right, guys, let's take a break. Relax the legs. Massage your feet. Thank you very much for watching from home. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same channel. Thank you.